Alright, today we got a double feature of Street Fighter. So we're gonna look at 2 episodes in the adventures of Chun-Li, Ken and Ryu. Last time Ryu went to prison, so we'll see what happens this time. Okay, so starting off we get a recap. Ken and Ryu arrive in Hong Kong. Chun-Li takes him to Kowloon Palace. Ryu and Ken steals from the criminal underworld down there. And in this episode, Ken, Ryu, and now Chun-Li are on the run. So supposedly Kowloon Palace is in the outskirts of Hong Kong. I don't even believe that there's police in this area of the city. And a hit has been placed on Ken and Ryu. It honestly looks like half the city is after these 3 people. So they temporarily managed to sneak away. Chun-Li says she's having fun. At least that's until Ken realizes that he lost his cell phone in all the scuffle. It's crazy hearing about cell phones in 1995. It has to be one of the big, break Paul Heyman cell phones. Anyways, Chun-Li takes a look and spots the direction of their hotel, at least where they need to get back to. So they're gonna have to run out of Kowloon Palace and somehow get back to the city without being murdered. I must say the soundtrack for this show is amazing. I can't play any of the songs here for obvious reasons, but I'm pretty sure you can find it if you look online. Hell, there probably is the soundtrack from this show on YouTube. Give it a listen by chance if you can. So now you can barely make it out, but I guess ninjas are after them? It's crazy. There's a lot of things in Street Fighter that I remember, but an abundance of ninjas is not one of them. So Ryu and Ken realize they've been surrounded. Somehow they see the ninjas in all black running through the night, but whatever. Turns out, by the way, they're not ninjas. They're just drawn that way in they're running through the city. They just drew them as silhouettes. This is what they actually look like. They're known as the Flying Black Snake Clan. The leader's name is Kojika Black Snake. I'm not making that up. That is his actual name. His hairstyle is crazy, by the way. So they whip out nunchucks, but it doesn't matter. They all get beat up. They also recycle the nunchuck sounds that I believe were in the Enter the Dragon movie. Again, I can't play the sounds from Enter the Dragon, but I might be able to get away with it from the show. So he orders the Flying Death Attack, whatever that is. It looks like it's just 2 people jumping at the same time at him. They try it in 4s, it still doesn't work. But eventually it starts working. Ken and Ryu take quite a few shots with the nunchucks. They both eventually fight out of it anyways though. By the way, this is extremely upbeat music for how violent this is. So every last one of them get disposed of. Kojika decides to fight them both by himself. He basically hits them one time and then just hides in the shadows. It works one time. So he gets destroyed and Chun-Li starts cheering them on. I don't think it's wise to start making a whole bunch of noise right now, but that's just me. We get a quick intermission. I love this, by the way. We get a cut to Ken and Ryu's old pilot. He can't reach them because they've left their cell phone in the arena. Actually, the cell phone isn't drawn as primitive as you would think for 1995. So the gang is getting closer and closer to the edge of the city. Suddenly you can hear people howling and wooing at them. It sounds crazy and it just slowly gets louder and louder. Then a bunch of goons just pop out of nowhere. And by goons, I mean actual hockey players. Only they have spikes all over their clothes for some reason. They're ice skating on concrete, by the way. And I say that only because these are not drawn like normal rollerblades. So we learned that they're fighting a gang called the Hockey Blades. They throw pucks at the ground and start firing the pucks at them. And Ken knocks them all down with his hands. And now these guys get taken out too. Even Chun-Li gets in on the action. It's amazing how little Chun-Li actually does in these earlier episodes, considering we do find out later in the show that she really can fight. There is a lot of running in this episode, but it's understandable why. They don't do like a lot of modern anime and just recycle the same 5 clips of them running over and over. Kind of appreciate that. So they finally get to the edge of the city where the fence is for them to sort of climb over and escape. And the car pulls up. The boss of Kowloon Palace, his name is Lee. He comes out and basically tells them that they're not going to get any further. It's amazing he doesn't care, like he's out here trying to kill teenagers at this point. Or maybe young adults. So he sicks his 2 henchmen after them, again with the happy music during this brutal fight. Chun-Li keeps cheering them on from the sidelines and it grabs the attention of Lee, who happens to sneak off. Once again, I don't know why she won't learn her lesson and just be quiet during all this. It's not like there aren't people trying to kill him. So Ken and Ryu disposes of these 2 people. They had to have gotten hit with a minimum of 50 punches. And then, go figure, Lee has Chun-Li at gunpoint. Who could have seen this coming? So at the end, he gives an evil, smart villain speech. just in time for Ken's helicopter pilot to show up. Apparently the police have been alerted, so there's some type of law and order in Calhoun Palace. It certainly didn't seem like it. And Chung-Li actually gets some shots in, and the police finally arrive extremely late. Sore loser Lee takes his gun out anyways, but he gets shot by Chung-Li's father before he can take his own shot at Ken, Ryu, and Chung-Li. Not really sure who he was aiming for him, but don't really think it matters. Chung-Li's father is pissed that she even got them in this situation in the first place, which is crazy. She just only agreed to do their job. They actually go to Calhoun Palace, but whatever. Chun-Li informs Ken and Ryu that she can get them access to a new Hong Kong movie that's being filmed the next day. Of course, it's a Fei-Long movie. So guess what they're going to be doing the next episode? So jumping right into the next episode of Street Fighter V, Chun-Li's father is seen meditating. It's a very ominous scene, by the way. Even Chun-Li's afraid to speak to her father while he's meditating. Like, it does look creepy as hell, to be quite honest with you. Chun-Li's asking her father is something big going on, and it was. I've talked about that in the previous review I did of this show, so go ahead and check that out. Don't ask me why I did these out of order, by the way. So Captain Dora is now headed to the boat to stop their next case, I guess. We get more happy music, but at least this fits the occasion. Ken suggests that they eat swallow's nest for breakfast. I don't know what that is, but okay, whatever. This is a random ass start to this episode, by the way. So after eating breakfast, we cut to the ship where Captain Dora is invading. He senses something is wrong, and of course there's a bomb that's about to go off on the boat, so they've been set up. Chung-Li and the gang hears it and sees it at breakfast. Everybody assumes that it's an explosion for some movie. Definitely wasn't. Chung-Li says that the movie people started making comparisons between Fei-Long and Bruce Lee because of his strength and power. Again, not making this up. At least they had the wherewithal to make him not look exactly like Bruce Lee to give him some sort of identity. So in a nutshell, he looks a little more unique and also looks nothing like the Fei-Long in the games. It says Fei-Long is 17 years old, by the way. Apparently he's pissing off all the directors on set because he's actually beating up all the stunt people. Fei-Long is suggesting that they actually put a real fight on film. This man is crazy. Fei-Long's argument is that none of the stunt people look like they should be putting up a fight against him. He says he wants a real challenge. The director's arguing that this is a movie, you're not supposed to actually be fighting people. You know, sensible thoughts. Anyways, Chung-Li arrives with Ken and Ryu, and Fei-Long immediately sees his potential challenge. We get another intermission. Chung-Li immediately suggests Ken and Ryu to fight Fei-Long in the movie. And the director's just gonna hire them. Apparently they need a martial arts slumlord. It's about to turn into a snuff film, isn't it? So Fei-Long has to choose his opponent, and he chooses Ken. I've read a lot that there have been comparisons between Ryu's character in this show and Goku in Dragon Ball. I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but he is very simple in this show. Ken's outfit is absolutely insane, by the way. And Fei-Long says he'll pay his medical bills if he gets hurt. And the fight between Fei-Long and the evil slumlord begins. Ryu keeps yelling at Ken while they're doing the fight as if a movie's not being filmed. For whatever reason, Ken won't throw a punch either at the beginning of this fight. The director gives Ken the green light to go ahead and fight Fei-Long full force, and that he does. This goes a lot better than his fight with Guile, by the way. Again, I reviewed that on a previous episode. The director says the fight is good enough, but they still won't stop fighting. Apparently, Fei-Long was trained by Chun-Li's father. Ryu starts asking curious questions about Chun-Li's father's training. Now the fight actually starts heating up, and they begin destroying Chinese artifacts. Apparently the destruction of this property is not in the budget. Then Fei-Long and Ken jump off set, so now the camera's trying to chase them down, and Ken's bald cap gets knocked off. They keep filming. Apparently this is gonna make sense for the movie. I don't see how, but whatever. I kinda think no one was buying the bald cap anyways, but it's just me. They are destroying a lot of property, by the way. Apparently these are government artifacts too. Can't imagine that's gonna go over well. Ken hits Fei-Long with a Shoryuken, and Fei-Long is down. And the director stops the movie because apparently he marked up Fei-Long's face, which of course that's a problem. This is why it was stupid for Fei-Long to want to do this in the first place, by the way. So they stopped the filming of the movie, and Ken's fired apparently. This has inspired Fei-Long to want to actually direct his own movie. or at least have some type of creative control over it. So I'd venture to say that Ken won this fight as Fei-Long walks off with a shiner under his eye as the episode ends. Not the best episodes from this show, but also not the worst. Considering in total this is about between 40 to 50 minutes long, it went by lightning quick. So all in all, not bad. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You all have a good one, and I'm out.
Get it on that. Selector, make it first pick. Get it on that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on that. Choose and pick the best one. Get it on that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it on that. Selector, make it first pick. Get it on that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on that. Choose and pick the best one. Get it on that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it